first poll. Guys, today we're going over attacking and we're going over spacing, and I want you guys to make sure that you are doing it the right way. Again, skip through those mistakes, get better now, take advantage of free information, and join with me. Okay, we're gonna get rolling starting now. So if you guys are on the side, if you guys are doing something else, this is where we're starting to get going. All right, first poll coming out now. Please answer, go ahead. Let's see what we got. Are you a player or are you a coach or both? A lot of quick responses, pretty awesome. Man, we have a lot of both, and we have a couple who are just coaches, which I absolutely love. Some people are just trying to pick up 60 athletes. That's good, only 2 of you, so that's fine. Guys, thanks for participating in that poll. That's awesome. I want you guys to stay glued because we're gonna have a few of those, and some of them are gonna be really important to what we're going, to where we're going down the next hour or so. We are going to be on for the next hour. So we just started. Some of you have been here for a half hour already. Some of you have been here for 15 minutes. I planned this to be about an hour and 15 minutes. At the end, there is going to be a Q&A session. So that means that like your personal questions, I'm going to open it up the platform and say, okay, what questions do you have? Specifically, I'd like you to ask them on offense and on the attack. But if they're on other questions, and I think they're important to the lesson today, then we'll go that way. I'm going to end this poll. 42 of 47 answered. I'm going to share the results with you. We have a lot of just players. We have a lot of people who coach both, and I think that's awesome. Here's what I think, guys. Here's my methodology, and a lot of people end up coaching juniors because that's where the money's at. But what I believe is that we're all involved in the future of USA volleyball and of the furthering of our sport. So if you're from the US or if you're from the other sport, the cool part about beach volleyball is that right now it's in a big change. Teams are starting to get creative with their offenses, and they're starting to run different combinations, different speeds. Traditionally, you used to see just up and down, up and down, up and down, straight forward, up and down. Blockers have now grown to 7 feet, 7'1", and people need other answers to side out consistently. So the game is changing, and that's really exciting, and you guys are a part of that. But we need a base. Everybody needs a baseline. And the faster everybody can get on that baseline, the faster that the sport can progress, right? So it can get to the next level. Like in the 90s, indoor went from high up and down. The Russians were just throwing these sky balls to Brazil, a bunch of little guys running just speed across the net on the indoor. And they changed the game and they won gold medals. And then America basically out-Braziled Brazil, where we found decently sized guys, but we could run speed. That's where the beach game is heading, and it's really exciting, and you guys are all a part of that. So why I choose to coach more adults than junior is that I believe that all of you guys are going to touch somebody at some point. All right, you guys are all going to teach somebody. So if I can make the top players and the medium players and the older players better, a younger player is eventually going to look to you and say, how do I do this? And once they involve you in that journey, that's something that's really special and really beautiful, because then you become a part of them forever if you add something to their game. So if I give the adults great information and then you trickle down, that's when the entire base becomes better and the entire base becomes lifted, and then the sport changes. So I want to be a part of that evolution, and by being here, you guys are a part of that evolution, and that's what I love. Moving on to that, let's take our second poll. Guys, we're going to get into video really quick. I am going to ask you guys what your volleyball path was. If you had no idea what I was talking about with indoor, fine. However, I want to know if you guys started with indoor, if you guys started with beach, if you're indoor now beach. My path, I started playing indoor in college, and I played beach only to get better at indoor. And then once I started playing both, my skills increased in both. And I think that that kept me fresh for a long time. So the majority of our people so far started with indoor and now only play beach. And a lot of people play both. Man, bunch of people, beach purists. I love it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thank you guys for participating. I'll share you those results. Awesome. Okay. Now, guys, let us start some of this film. We are talking about offense. I'm going to start sharing my screen with you. Okay. So now you guys see what I'm seeing. And the first thing we want to talk about, let's get into the meat of it. The first thing we want to talk about, we're talking about offensive attacks. I'm going to start with a men's video. And since we want people you guys already know, we are going to start with Canadians versus Americans, okay? Give me a little thumbs up or just write yes in the text box if you guys can see this. I want to know what you guys are looking at. Yeah. Thank you. Good. Okay. So this is what the meat of this webinar is going to be. I'm going to keep showing you these videos. You can see me scrubbing back and forth, right? Yes. You can see me scrubbing forward, right? Yes. 13 new messages. Everybody's involved. Awesome, guys. Cool. So the base of what we want to do, I'll let this video roll. And the first thing that I do want to talk about is hitting arm space principle. Eventually I'm going to make a little acronym for this. But what you need to do is have space for your hitting arm. So as you see all of the passes, all of the digs, all of these players who are prepping for their attack, what you're going to see is that they're opening space for their attack arm, right? They're basically leading their attack arm. That's really important for you to have power and you to have options. If you're leaning to the opposite shoulder, you're in a weakened position immediately. So this is going to be as much of a setting clinic via webinar as much as it is a hitting clinic, okay? So I want you, this is Gibb and Patterson versus Binstock and Schachter. Binstock is still coaching. He's still running a lot of clinics up in Canada. And Schachter's a really energetic Canadian guy. He's kind of cocky. But this is 2016 in Rio. This is leading into the Olympics. Both of these teams went to the Olympics, and this is the beginning of that year. So this is Gibb and Patterson versus Binstock and Schachter. All right. So let's take a look right here. After this pass, we see that Gibb stays home. This isn't the ideal pass location. He passed right in front of himself. Ideally we're looking towards the middle, but that's not what we're talking about today. What we do is Gibb is trying to open up space for his right arm. See how the ball falls on his right arm? This gives him attack options, and he gets that kill, okay? Now we can see this natural thing here. Okay, so look where Josh, this is Josh Binstock. Look where Josh is when he passes. I'll try to leave my mouse there. This is where he is. This is his butt when he passes. Look at the work that he does to create space for his hitting arm. Okay, he passed here, and then he moved maybe 10 feet to the outside. Now he's got all of this space, because Josh is a righty, so he's got all of this space to lead his attack arm, okay? Now we see that Sam is going to lead his attack arm. Look at this. He doesn't set Josh to the antenna. He leads Josh so that he can move forward, and he leads the attack arm into the attack. Give me a yes on the chat if you guys can see that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome, awesome. Okay, leading the way. Boom, set inside, lead the attack arm. So really nice. Jake gets a touch, and we get that kill. Again, this is a Rio 2016. This is one of the first tournaments of that year. And this is Canada versus USA, Jake Gibb and Casey Patterson, two of the best players in the US for a long time now. All right, let's take a look where Jake passes this ball, okay? So I like this. Jake is being fluid. He comes into the middle. He gets led by this pass, but then look at the footwork after the pass. This is what I want you guys to really, really notice. Okay, I know you guys can't see me pointing at the screen, but I'm trying to use my cursor. So he passes right here, and then he keeps this shuffle going, and maybe he could have attacked, but he was opening space for his right arm, and Casey uses his long arms to get this. All right, let's take a look again. Again, we're talking about spacing for the right arm, right? Opening up space for the right arm so that you can lead that attack arm. Once you set the other side, or once you put yourself in a situation where you're leaning to the opposite shoulder, your non-hitting shoulder, you're in a weakened position, you don't have as much height, you don't have power. So let's take a look here. Okay, pass is on the sideline. This is where his body is during the pass. And since he passed straight forward, look how far out he gets. Look at this space for the right arm. And again, Sam leads him inside, okay? Leads the right hitting arm. This, we can still see you when viewing your screen in a little window. It's okay. I think you might be able to minimize it, Graham, but if you see me, that's okay. So I'll use all sorts of weird hand motions. Back to the video, leading the right arm. Jake gets a big time block. Okay, so this is good footwork, and this is what we want to focus on for the majority of today, right? We want to talk about the hitting arm space principle. Look at all of that space for his right arm. All right, let's move on to this next one. Okay, so this is where he passes. This is where I'm going to leave my mouse, right? He doesn't move a lot. Why doesn't he move a lot? Because he passed to the right. But look at the space that he's created between the setter and himself. This allows the setter plenty of room to accelerate the hitter. And I want you guys to understand that, right? We're accelerating the hitter. So you're accelerating the hitting arm. This is a pretty good set. I think I see Josh, look at this. See, he starts in and it looks like he's aiming at Jake, right? But the set gets a little bit wide, so you can see Josh change direction slightly to the left here. Look at this, going this way and then changes direction slightly, makes a nice foot adjustment. And that's where we have it. Okay, so here is an example of Sam not having time to move into a great position, but look at the set from Josh. He's going to lead the attack arm, right? He's going to set the ball outside of Sam's hitting arm. Look where this ball gets. Outside the hitting arm, right? Almost entirely. I think Sam wanted it a little bit wider because he has to adjust inside, but we get it on the right side of our body, right? So that's what we're talking about for right arm space. Man, I want to keep harping that your footwork has to create space after the pass, after the dig, and it has to create that space so that you can accelerate and so that you never end. If you guys look at my video, you never end with your arm crossing across your body, or if you guys are leaning back. Those things are just massive for your side out percentage. All right, let's keep watching. Let's look where he passes from. This is Josh passing, right? These guys were both in the Olympics, two teams in the Olympics. And this is a nice little option pass because he sees an easy short ball. Sam kind of expects it. He waits back patiently, and Josh passes to his hitting arm. He gets it over the other side of his hitting arm, and they get an easy kill onto. Okay. A couple more points from these guys, and then we'll switch matches. All right. Guys, I can't emphasize how important watching film is for your game. If you guys are looking to improve, if you guys are trying to get better, if you follow players on Instagram or on Facebook, you can see how many videos they're posting and how many are from practices and how many are from matches. And if you're looking at a player's highlight on Instagram or on Facebook, you know, you have physical evidence that they are recording their match, and these are professionals, right? They're not recording it just so that they can look good. Um, they do record it a lot so that they can look good, and they take select clips. But remember that they're recording it and they're watching it. They're watching their practices and watching their film. And this is what we do. We study it constantly. And if you're not studying it, you're not getting better, right? So if you're not filming your practices, if you're not filming your matches, you need to start so that you can take the next, the next jump in your game. So this is an odd play right here, right? Casey's known for a high snap and loose wrist. This is where he has almost negative space for his right arm. I don't love this position, and I don't know if Casey does, but he gets stable and he stays patient. And part of what makes Casey excellent is that he has excellent feet to ball. So wherever this ball gets set is that Casey's going to end up jumping so that the ball is still on the right side of his right arm. Look where Jake sets. Normally we push the set a little bit, but Jake feels that Casey is tight to him, so he sets this ball ultra up and down. Can you give me a yes if you can see that? There is no push to that, right? Give me a yes in the chat window if you guys can see that. Awesome, awesome. Amber, welcome. Carl, good to see you again, buddy. So this is where Jake sets up and down. He feels Casey's right shoulder, and then he basically gets out of the way. This is a good setter. This is a setter trying to lead the hitting arm, and I think it's excellent. Look at that. Ball falling on the right side of Casey's body right here so that he has a lot of attack options. Okay, you guys are going to see this again and again and again. I want to switch players here. All right, this is just introducing the right arm principle and creating space with your footwork. And two of the best guys that I know who do this are Alisson and Bruno. And this video coming up is where we're going to do this. Okay, so boom. Bruno, man, he was, I don't know if he was MVP or he was close to MVP, but Alisson and Bruno, obviously they won the Olympics in 2016, and this is the year leading into them. So this is when they're playing some of their best volleyball. And this is their match against Mexico. Juan Bergen and Ontiveros. I don't know his first name, but let's just take a look. Okay, so you guys can all see this. I hope you can. Let's take a look. All right, so out serve, awesome. Love when videos start with that. All right, so this is where Juan. So Juan's kind of like a quick, shooty, snappy type player. So his footwork is slightly different than the way we teach than a base system. But what you need to realize is that he's always creating space for his hitting shoulder again, and his partner is always opening that ability. He's always accelerating the attack arm. So check it out. This is where he passes, right? He calls for a back. The job of the setter here is to get the ball over the right side of the hitting arm, the hitting side of the hitting arm. So we can see if he does that. Yeah, totally leads the hitting arm, right? He exaggerates it a little bit, which is good. And a big kill against one of the best blockers in the world. So because he passed in the middle, he stayed tight. He didn't go wide, right? He stayed really tight here. You can see him up and down in the middle, and he's just asking for a back set. And Ontiveros knows that we're going to set over the right side of the right hand. Boom. And we get a good attack option. Really good. Guys, is it getting a little choppy? Or on my screen, it's getting a little choppy. I just want to make sure that you guys are still seeing this and you're still staying with it. Looks good, Enrico. Thank you very much. Okay. Hopefully you're not the only one. Great. All right. So Alisson, let's talk a little bit about this guy. Big guy, 6'8", maybe 6'9". He loves his sets about 1 meter, 3 feet from the net. This is where he operates his offense from. He has a big cross court swing, and he has a really good cross body down the line swing. So his job is to create an offense that allows him to attack here. You guys see where my mouse is? I hope you do, which means he needs to create enough space to accelerate his hitting arm into this area. So I want you to see where he passes and then where he works after the pass to get from. Too many amateur B, double A, double A, whatever, any amateur player, they pass, and then that's where they start their offense from. That's it's miserable. I don't want to offend anybody, but if you see yourself like passing and that's where you start your offense from, that's miserable, because it means that if the server serves you and they put you in a location, it means they're playing puppet master. So they are serving you and you are approaching from where they want you to approach, rather than using the first ball as you getting yourself to the line of scrimmage and setting up your offense, right? Our offense is our offense. It's not who the server chose to, it's not where the server chose to put us. It's I'm passing a good first ball. Hopefully I pass it to the right place. And if I pass it to the perfect place, I have my perfect offense. If I don't, I'm still in control. I'm still in control of where I'm attacking and the angles I'm attacking. That being said, Alisson passes right here. Okay, I'm going to leave my mouse there. Hopefully you can see it. Look at the work after the pass. Watch this. He creates the space. Boom. So some of the people who have been training with me, they see the step shuffle. This isn't entirely a step shuffle, but he gets this foot oriented cross court. So this is his right foot getting oriented cross court, and look at the space that he has to attack where he wants to attack, okay? Bruno sets him a little bit wide, I think, for what he wants, but because he was able to get outside, he can still accelerate into that. See how wide his foot is on the left? Right? This allows him to accelerate into the entire court, allows him to accelerate his hitting arm, even if that set is at the antenna, which it ends up being. Big kill. Okay. So again, like 2016, Alisson Bruno, #1 team in the world, basically unstoppable. Good team to study. All right. So here is Juan passing a ball straight in front of him. Look at this. Look at the step shuffle. Guys, if you've practiced with me, or if you haven't, pass, step shuffle. This is how you create the pace, right? Step, shuffle. Look at this. One more time. Step, shuffle. This is how he creates space between his hitting arm and the setter, and then Ontiveros leads the hitting arm, so that we can come in with power. We can freeze Bruno back here, and that opens up a high line. Yeah, just like that, just like that. That's not scripted, guys, but yeah, that's exactly how you want to do it. You can freeze that player there. So again, we're talking about creating space for your hitting arm, and if we have a few right side attacks, we can see that as well. We're going to see it in a second. My computer's heating up, so Enrico, I know you're from Santa Monica. Thank you. All right. Another left side attack. Look, pass, step shuffle. And guys, if you were at my Long Beach Oceanside clinic in New York, we worked on this for the last 25 minutes of the clinic, right? Pass, step shuffle, step shuffle. He does another one, creates great space for his hitting arm. And he gets brought back a little bit, which I don't like, because that set fell over his head. So I don't really like where this set ended up, because it didn't accelerate the hitting arm. Yeah, and he nearly got into trouble there. Nearly got into trouble, but he was able to get out of it. Okay, we always want to accelerate the hitting arm. I want to break there. not, so that we're going to stop or anything. We still have a long way to go, but I'm going to open this up to Q&A. All right. If you guys have any questions, let's enter them in the next minute. And if you have any questions, go ahead and I will type into that Q&A session. If not, we're going to be sort of moving on to the next key. But this is creating space for the hitting arm. If you are a left side attacker with a right-handed attack, you need to step shuffle outside. So step shuffle left. Okay. And that will create space between your hitting arm. If you are a right-handed attacker, maybe we can get one attack out of Bruno over here. No. Let's see. Okay. We'll get one more point here. My computer's heating up a little bit. Out serve. Let me guys see if we can find a right side attack. No. Both teams have pretty strict strategies right now, just serving the left sides. Okay. One more. So I want you to take a look at this one more time. This is where Alisson passes from. I'll leave my mouse there. And look how he works off the net and outside, creating space. This is where they're trying to run their offense from. This is where Alisson is most comfortable attacking. So that's where we're developing the set. And that's why Alisson gets wide out here so that he has space to lead his hitting shoulder. Oh, I just rewound. Sorry, guys, that was weird. Okay, creates that space. Bruno leads him, and boom, down the line. Awesome. Being left-handed, my distance needs to be less. Jacob, I see that in the chat. If you guys have questions, we got 4 Q&As. Hi, from Boston. Yes, Todd Luther, Mark. Can we download this webinar when we're done? Guys, I'm going to make the webinar downloadable. It'll take a little bit, but I'm probably going to throw it up on the blog and do that. So I'm going to take away that Q&A. Being left-handed, my distance needs to be less. So we talk about the difference. This is a good question, Jacob Martinez. Thank you. We need to create space for our hitting arm. So if we're a right-handed player on the right side, like this guy just did, oh, darn it, you got to hit. Okay. Right-handed player on the right side, that means if we're going to create space for our right shoulder, that means that we have to move in a little bit closer to our setter. All right. We're gonna give it one more try. Yeah, left sides again, creating space. Look at this. This is the same play as Jake and Casey made before, where we only have a little bit of space for our hitting shoulder, but on Tiveros, this setter, he feels this space, so he sets again a little more strictly straight up. We had to move back. He didn't quite lead his setter. We could have let it a little bit more, and that got Juan into a little bit of trouble. All right. And Alisson's the best blocker in the world, so what are you gonna do? Or second best next to Phil. All right. One more question from the Q&A. Where exactly should a left-handed right side attacker be getting their feet to, assuming it's a good pass and there is a scenario where it's okay? So the key here, Maga, is I'm not going to develop your offense for you. We should have a base where it's an up and down set. Okay, so the question is, where should a left-handed right side attacker be getting their feet to, right? We call this point of hesitation. The McKibbins, who are doing a lot in volleyball education right now. If you guys don't know who the McKibbins are, you should really take a look at some of their videos. They call it the batter's box. USA Volleyball, we call it point of hesitation. We're going to be getting to that in about 10 minutes. So stick with me, but again, create space for your hitting shoulder and you'll be all right. How far off the net is an ideal set? Again, that's something we're going to get to in maybe 20, 25 minutes. Okay. We only have about 18 minutes left, just 20 minutes, guys, here. So what I want to do is I want to break with our second poll. I hope you guys are cool with that. I just want to ask you guys one question. have you ever had an on-court coach, right? Coaching and playing hours. So this is the difference between, man, this is the difference between everything. Too many people spend their careers just grinding, grinding, grinding. And I did that for a very, very long time, where you work on the wrong things, you work hard, you put in constant effort, but you don't know where you're going. You think you do, and then you watch video and you come up with your own ideas when there are experts out there who can really help you. So I want to launch this poll. Guys, I hope you can answer really quick. That way we can move on, because I want to talk about, I want to talk about us getting to our point of hesitation. So give me those votes. How many hours have you spent playing beach volleyball? How many hours have you been coached by a designated coach? And those are the only two questions in that poll. Remember, guys, if you're at a tournament, you're probably, if you spend an entire day there, I know you're there from 7 o'clock until 8 p.m. until it's getting dark, you probably only played maybe 3 hours of volleyball. So keep that in mind. A practice, you're getting tons of reps. You're getting 2 hours straight of volleyball. But if you're at a tournament, maybe that's only 3 hours. So if you're getting knocked out of tournaments early, stick around. Ask somebody to play. Get those reps and get that advantage. But if you get knocked out of pool play, man, stay, play extra matches. Ask anybody else if they want to play, and that'll get you further in your game. Okay. Less than 50, between 50 and 200, a lot more than 500. How many hours have you been coached by that? Man, I really want you guys to look at the results of this poll. The majority of people have played more than 500 hours, and the majority have gotten coached less than 25 hours. That means you have, at the maxes, 475 hours where you are kind of just blindly going into something without help, without assistance. When in some places in the country, in some places in the world, there aren't, terribly awesome coaches, but there are coaches available. If you guys want to come to a camp, you can come out to California and we can lead you there. But if you're going at somebody and you're going at something and you really want to get better at it, and you're not finding the right teachers, or you're not finding any teachers, and then you complain about your results, or you're upset, or it gets you down to just get knocked out in pool play, man, coaches help you skip so much. They help you skip so much time and so many mistakes that you could be making for years. Take it from somebody who knows. I didn't hire coaches for a long time, and then 3 years ago I started making that jump. I said, okay, I'm going to start paying coaches. And there were things that, oh man, they clicked right away, like immediate points. So you guys need to pay really, really specific attention to this and say that, okay, I'm spending this much of my life trying to get good at something, and I haven't hired somebody who is going to lead me there. Just want to point that out. Now, we are moving on to point of hesitation. We're going to start over. We're going to go to some women's match. Sarah Hughes was nice enough to give us her match against Ludwig Walkenhorst from the 2016 season. Again, these are probably America's future gold medalists versus the 2016 gold medalists. And we're going to look at their points of hesitation here. So we talked about creating space from the hitting shoulder. You guys are going to see more of that. So I want you to notice that all of these girls are setting the outside or leading the hitting shoulder, right? And their footwork after the pass is creating that space. And that's massive. I'm going to move my chat boxes over here so we can have to leave later, Whitley. We will do more of these. Thanks for coming, and talk to you later. Okay, so this is one time where we have a passer, Walkenhorst, who's a gold medalist, so we're not going to complain about her. But she doesn't move in. She doesn't create massive space for her hitting arm, but her setter, watch this. her setter will lead her right shoulder. So Vulcan horse stays outside, right? And the set goes, boom, outside of her right shoulder. This leads the attack and makes the high line available. If this set falls in here, that high line has to go much higher. It gives Sarah, who's pretty quick, a chance to get there. So setter found the outside of the right shoulder, and Valkenhorst, she made sure that she had a little bit of space so that Laura could set her. Let me move this down a little bit. Okay, this is Austria. This is Klagenfurt. Top was the top tournament in the world. So Kelly gets this pass right here. Look where she passes it. Boom. Okay, that's where her body was when she passed, and she keeps creating the space. Look at the space. She's got about 6-7 feet for her hitting shoulder and the set, right? Sarah leads her hitting arm again. Same thing, leading the hitting arm, and the hitter, the passer, makes it easier by creating that space. Man, that's so massively important. If you guys are sitting still and you're staying where the server served you, you're cutting your own offense. You don't even have your own offense. You're just taking what somebody gives you and you're eating it. And that's gross. You need to make your own dinner here. All right. Again, we're going to see the serve on the gold medalist. Again, she stays wide, okay? She gets pulled over and she stays wide. But watch what Laura does. She does her best to lead the hitting shoulder. You won't see this a lot. You won't see people going super wide like this because it cuts vision, right? Now that she has to look over here for the set, her vision is cut on the other side, because if you're looking left and up, it's really difficult for you to look forward. So your vision is cut. Hope you can all see that. Good dig by Sarah. Nice. Nice little touch. Okay, let's see it again. Germany, Olympic gold medalists. Great eyes. Great eyes in those Olympic gold medalists. And serve into the net. We get another serve into the net here. Yeah, great, great, great. See the top teams in the world, they miss serves too, everybody, just so you know. Okay, passing from here. Look where she passed, all right? So she didn't pass in front of her. She passed over here, but she still has this space for her hitting arm, and the set leads the hitting shoulder. All right, I hope we really got that. And that's really all I want to do with the hitting arm and space principle. So that's what we want to do. Now, I want to show you a little bit of sideways angles. I took some pictures, and I want to talk to you about point of hesitation and where we're at. At the same time, we're going to talk about timing steps. I think I have another poll for you guys. Let me just check this out. I want you guys to be pretty interactive here. So we talked about coaching and players action. We're studying film here, and I think it's massively important to study film. Again, if you see your favorite players, you see that they're, you know, some of the younger guys especially are posting about what they're doing, what happened in practice, some replays, which tells you that current professionals and people who are at the top of the game are constantly studying film. So I have a second poll, or a third or fourth poll, and I just want you guys to answer this. Let's see how it goes. If you guys understand that there are mirrors in gyms, they aren't so you can flex and look good. They are so you can check your technique, right? We can slow-mo film. We can see where we're at. And man, there have been times when I've worked on something for weeks, and I've worked on it and worked on it and worked on it and said, I'm doing it, I'm doing it, I'm doing it. And then I went back and I checked film, and my hands were still behind my hips on defense. And it drove me insane. And you can't figure that stuff out until you see yourself on film. And you can't really make yourself do things religiously until you see it on film. So that's where this questioning is lined on. I just want you guys to see for yourselves, right? How much time you spent playing volleyball, how much time you spent studying it on film, and then how much, man, 78% have spent less than 25 hours watching themselves on film. a lot of people have watched. That's good. You can study, you can learn a lot from great players, but man, at the end of a practice, if you're trying to get better, right? If you're trying to get better at the end of a practice, at the end of a tournament, the next day, 2 days later, you need to see in real time what you're doing. You have to take that film. And it's so easy for us now because we have iPhones, we have easy cameras, we have GoPros, things that have like eternal battery life, and you shove it in the sand and let it go. It's too easy and it's too valuable of a tool to give up. Like, you can learn so much from film and it'll take your game to the next level. But until you choose to just stick your iPhone in the sand, right, you're not going to get as good as you can possibly get. And that's what we want. That's what we want out of the country. That's what we want out of the world. We want everybody's base to increase so that the game can evolve. You're all a part of the growth of the game. And if you're not studying, if you're not looking at yourself on film, you're not improving as fast as you could. So I can't emphasize enough how much you need to watch film, and going back to coaches, how much we need to get a good coach, somebody who could lead us the right way. So I want to talk about spacing from the net. This is my spacing from the net folder. Okay. I went on YouTube and I took the first 2 matches that I found. All right. I typed in, I think, AVP volleyball, and this were the first 2 matches I found, and I decided to record every set for the first 14 points. So we're talking about spacing from the net now, learning how to attack, talking about spacing from the net. For those of you who are just joining us, my name's Mark. Hi, how are you? I run Volley Camp Hermosa. If you guys want to do camps, private lessons, boom. That's my little plug. I don't have too many plugs, but that's one of them. Okay, so as far as timing, let me check in on the Q&A. Oh. Okay. Again, if you guys have a question, use the Q&A button. I will answer them either in a blog form or by personal email afterwards. I love your questions. Go ahead and answer them in the Q&A, or ask them in the Q&A. So this is Santos Pretty versus Alan Slick. This is a semifinal. I think it's San Francisco. Yeah, it's San Francisco. Okay. We want to have our right foot. This is a 4-step approach, and guys, 98-99% of the world is on a 4-step approach for beach volleyball, and I want you to check out how it works, okay? Because I took the first 2 matches that I found with some of the best players in the world, and this is what we found for the first 14 points of each. So this is the set. This is the first set. We have spacing from the net. That's what we're talking about. Look at the distance from the net. This is Reed Pretty, who's about to attack, and Ricardo Santos, who is one of the best blockers in the world, who's about to set him. Reed Pretty is starting at about 3/4 depth. He's behind half court. So I can't emphasize enough that you have to start behind half court before the setter contacts the ball. That's where you need to be. If you're closer than that, you're in trouble. You've cut your height, you've cut your speed, you've cut your vision. Stay back. Okay, stay back, see the set in front of you. So this is picture number 1, right? This is not a video. These are just a series of screenshots. All right, this is the first set. Boom. This is the second set of the match. Again, look where Reed is, about 3/4 distance, right step on the set. First step of the approach, right step is on the set. Ricardo's setting, Reed is behind half court on his right step. Okay, on to the next one. So this is, Billy got served short here, I think, if I remember serving, but he's at half court on his right step as Stafford is setting him, right? Good spacing from the net. You cannot be closer than half court. If possible, you cannot be closer than half court before that set, because you're cutting your vision, you're cutting your vertical. Again, we're going to keep going. This is every set for the first 14 points. Billy is about to get on his right foot. Stafford is contacting the ball right now, and we're behind half court. I'm going to keep going. We're going to keep rolling with this. Okay. Look at this distancing right here. Who is this? Yeah, this is Billy taking the approach. Stafford setting, I believe, way behind half court. Set has just left the arms, and now we're getting onto the right foot. Right. A lot of us are on 3-step approaches, but we need to be, again, right foot on the set behind half court. And I want to bring you guys straight to a women's match, right? Because maybe you guys don't believe me. Maybe women should be on a 3-step approach. Garbage. Watch this. Okay. So this is Sarah Hughes and Kelly Clays versus Summer Ross and Brooke Sweat. Right, Brooke Sweat went to the Olympics. Summer's been crushing it from a young age, and these guys are, Kelly and Sarah are just crushing it and will continue to crush it. So behind half court, right foot on the set. I hope we can all see that. I'm going to keep moving. Second set of the match. So bad pass probably we had. So the set is coming from the back half of the court. Can you guys all see that? I hope you guys can. Set is coming from the back half of the court. Right foot is down, and we're behind half court. Again, creating space, but allowing ourselves a full approach. Again, Summer is setting. Brooke, who is a shorter player. I know if you're short, you should start closer. Well, Brooke is a little bit of a shorter player, and she's a shooter. She's not a hitter. She's got great vision, like incredible athleticism, and this is where she's starting, okay? She is stepping onto half court as the set is being touched. Right foot, first step of a 4-step approach on the set. This is all stuff that we go over in camps, guys. This is all stuff that we do in our private lessons. So if you're interested in getting better, if you want to take the next jump in your game, please, please, please sign up. Right step on the set. Same thing again, right? Do not rush that. You cannot rush that. If you slow down your approach, you cut your efficiency quick. Summer setting. Brooke on or behind half court on the right foot. I'll give you guys one more look at this. Again, this is just the first 14 points of the match. Another bad pass. This is where Kelly is setting, and Kelly is on her right foot behind half court. Even when the set is coming from the back half of the court, this is where we're starting from. Right? Kind of super simple. That was the last one. Okay, again, Summer is setting, and Brooke is behind half court. Another really good pass. Last picture right here. Who's this? Okay, so Kelly's approaching. Her right step is on half court, and the ball is touching the setter's hands. So, guys, if you're not watching film, you need to. Record yourself on iPhone. Record yourself on camera. Make sure that you're taking a look at this. And I need you guys to pause at the same place that I pause these videos. On setter contact, take a look at where you are. Take a look at where your feet are and what they're doing, because this is all about timing steps. Yeah. So right on the right foot, on or behind half court on the set. And that's where we want to be. So yeah, attacking takes so much. I know that today time got pinched. And I really want to thank you guys all for showing up here. I'm going to let this video play, but this is me and Tri versus Bockerman Flugen. They were one of the top teams in 2016, and I was lucky enough to get to play with Tri for a couple tournaments down in Brazil. But guys, this is just a small example of our attack session, right? This is a lot of what we do, and this is how much you can get out of it. So I just want to run a couple more polls, and I hope you guys stay with me just through these polls. I want to take a little assessment of where you guys are, of what you thought of this webinar. And this is one of our sort of exit polls. We have one more after this. And as a bonus, I just ran a poll. I hope you guys can vote on that. As a bonus, I'm giving anybody who's attending this webinar right now, anybody who's going this, we have video sessions, Volley Camp video session, which I am going to include in the chat box. Okay, I'm going to give you this discount, and it's 45 minutes of a one-on-one coaching session, right? Via video, via screen share, just like we're doing. 45 minutes and you get to be with a current professional player, and they will critique your own game. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a massive discount. I've already planned this in advance, and I'm gonna give you the link right now. It's at volleycamppromoted.com. You guys can do this, except you send us your videos, and we go through it piece by piece with you. Okay, so take a look at volleycamppromoted.com. I'm sending you guys this link right now. And for anybody who's still live, who signed up through our email list, we're doing something that we've only done one time before. We're gonna give everybody $100 per person discount on camps. If you guys are out of town, if you wanna come to one of our camps, 7 days of coaching from professional players and see what Hermosa is all about, we really invite you here. We want to get you going here, and we're going to keep this open until tomorrow morning at 12 o'clock, or tomorrow at noon. It's a $100 discount if you want to go ahead and buy a camp right now. I really invite you to. And where is this? Volley Camp video one-on-one analysis. Guys, right now there's a sale running. It's usually $60 for 45 minutes. You send us your video, and a professional volleyball player will sit down with you on the same computer, screen share, and show you what you are doing wrong and what you can do better. Right? Again, we talked about how important video is and how important a coach is. And I know that coaches aren't available everywhere. So if you want to take advice from somebody, take advice from somebody who's doing it at the highest level possible, and sign up for this. It's $30. And we've undercut it by 50%, and I really hope that you guys sign up for this. It's a huge advantage. We are going to cut it at 15 people. We want to make it worth it for current professional athletes. So normally it's 60, but right now we're cutting it 50%. So we're cutting it at 15 people. Hope you guys sign up. It's $30 for 45 minutes. You send us your video. We take you through all of your game, anything that you want to fix. And if you can win more points right now, wouldn't you take that chance? I mean, yeah, you really, to win more points right now, to get out of pool, to win the next match, like a $30 investment to win a few more points in break pool is, for me, it's massive. So I'm going to, in the chat box, I'm going to send you this right here. Again, this is going to be open until tomorrow at noon, or until we get 15 people. So if you look in the chat box and you're keeping track on the actual webinar, not on Facebook Live, if we don't fill it up, I will send it to you later. But if you want first crack at this next webinar, then I'm going to ask you to sign up for our email list. Hopefully you get in there. So email list attendees, you guys get first crack at it, because we're only going to do 15. Again, this is the time of professional athletes where you get to sit with them one-on-one, talk with them, chat with them. They watch your video and tell you how to be better. And I think that's a really cool opportunity. Alternatively, if you guys come to a camp, if you sign up for a camp before tomorrow at noon, I'm going to send this link again, and Facebook, I will send it later. You guys sign up for a camp right now, and here is the discount code. Same thing. Discount code is coming, okay? You guys are getting a $100 discount on any camp, and you guys get a free one-on-one video analysis before you get here to a camp. So if you want to sign up for 7 days of training in California and you want to fly out here, like again, we've run this discount for 16 people, and it was in New York, and it was a very special occasion, but this is the largest discount that we've ever run. If you guys want to come to a camp, use this one that I put just into this into the webinar chat. And if we don't fill it up with, again, 15 people, and if we don't fill it up by noon, then I will open it up to Facebook until we get 15. I hope you guys join in. And good coaching, just to end, good coaching has never been so available. You've got John Mayer and Niels Nielsen and Andrew Fuller and John Mayer all doing their own Coach Your Brains Out podcast, right? They're doing awesome things and they're teaching you how to be a better coach and how to be a better player. The McKibbins are throwing out really awesome information. I've been offering this camp and lessons for 3 years now, and the game is growing and we want you to be a part of it. And there's so much out there available and you can be so much better so quickly. I hope you guys take the opportunity to just enjoy the sport more. This is my first webinar. I hope you guys loved it. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to open up a Q&A right now. So if you have questions, stick around. I'll stay around for another 15 minutes. If you guys have individual questions, we're talking mainly about offense, but if we don't get too many questions, I'll stick around. And thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. I love that you let me be a part of your journey. Really, I think coaches are a special thing. And if you choose a coach, I think that's even more special. So I take it to heart. I love coaching, love playing. And I hope you guys come to some tournaments, and I hope you come to a camp or sign up for a private lesson and really, really, really film your practices, film your matches. If you want to sign up for this discount, send it to us, and I can win you more points now in the off season. Myself, the other coaches we have, Kerry Shue, Jeff Samuels, I'll throw some to Andrew Dentler, the McKibbins, if they want to do some of those videos reviews, and all these guys who just, if you want to support professional careers and you want to get really good advice from top of the line players, please, please, please sign up for this. Again, we're going to cut it at 15 or at 12 noon tomorrow. It's $30 for a 45-minute private one-on-one session where a professional is critiquing your game. Okay, that's my end of the pitch, and I really want to open this up to Q&A. So I'm going to check in with the Q&A. I'm getting a bunch of them right now, and I'm going to stick around and hang out with you guys for a bit. Thank you for attending. If you guys are on your way out, I am going to send out one more. We did it already. No, I don't have any more polls. Thanks for coming. Sign up for our email list, sign up for a camp, sign up for private lessons, and sign up for the one-on-one video session if you guys can't make it out to California. Thank you so much for coming, and let's open it up to Q&A right now. So I'll be around. Boom. Good stuff, Carl. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Thanks. Hope to see you soon, Dan. Wish I had video. Yeah. Awesome, awesome. GoPro. All right, Q&A. We still got 33 people here left. I like it. So let's start from the top. Can we download this webinar when we're done? Yeah, it'll be available in a couple days. Where is started from behind half court. They told me the other day I was too far, and in fact, I couldn't contact the ball. The set must be high enough for that to work right. Okay, so Enrico Teodi asked, he said he was starting from behind half court, and they told him the other day that he was too far, and in fact, couldn't contact the ball. The set must be high enough for that to work, right? How high? How high is kind of a tough question. Guys, I'm gonna let this video run just for fun, so that you guys can keep checking it out, and I'll answer questions along the way so you can be entertained, and I'll answer questions at the same time. So there are speed sets, right? Teams are operating with speed sets. Gold medal squared in USA Volleyball, we call this like a first step set, where you are getting on to your first of 4 steps as the set is being contacted. Okay, so you still need enough room to accelerate. One of the most common mistakes that I see in, I guess, amateur players is that they want a really low set, and that's not entirely a mistake. It becomes a timing mistake, and then you become very specific, because a higher set allows you an opportunity to get your feet to the ball better, right? People mistake a low set as them hitting more comfortably, but you have a shorter time to keep your eye on the other side of the court, right? You can't really look at the other side of the court. You have to focus on the ball coming out of the hands because it's going to be in a very specific place. I hope that makes sense so far. Now, a lower set makes people feel in control because the ball is kind of sitting more on a tee. A higher set, the ball is moving faster and you have to move your eyes just a little bit more. So it makes your contact less consistent until you train it. And it, everybody, I mean, until you're running actual speed sets, the entire world tour is setting at minimum 4 balls above the top of the antenna. And if you want to challenge me on that, that's fine. But I want you to sit on the stands and I want you to sit yourself at antenna height at any pro event. Like really pick that seat at half court. Look at the top of the antenna and see where the passes and where the sets are going so that we can see it in actual real time because sets are getting lifted. And if you're not getting on your right step as the set is being touched, that can be a timing issue as well. So you have to communicate with your setter. The setter has to be comfortable with lifting a ball enough for you. But the way we study here is looking at the top players in the world and what they're doing, right? And we see that the top players in the world, everybody who's in the Olympics, this is what they're doing. And we like to emulate what the best do. And once everybody emulates the best, then the best become the next evolution of the game. So I hope that answers your question, Enrico. Ask your setter to set a little higher if you want to get to the next level, and make sure that you have enough space. Right step on or behind half court as the setter is setting. And if they give you a nice lifted set high enough, you should have a great attack, just like you see these guys attacking here. Inconsistent setters. How do you recommend practicing offense when playing with inconsistent setters? This is a question from Eric. Thank you, Eric. Dad, I don't know if you're still watching, and I hope not to offend you. I think that I have pretty excellent feet to ball, which means that I can get my feet to anywhere, and hopefully I can get my hitting shoulder available. And I accredit that to practicing with my father a lot, who tried to pick up volleyball at the ripe age of, 59, 58, and he was setting everywhere. The important thing is keeping space from the net, right? Because we want to play, this is from Tori Grafman, actually, who is one of our coaches and one of Beach City's coaches. She said, play for good and react to bad. So expect your setter to give you something great, right? Expect them to give you an up and down set, something nice and high and lifted. And then if it becomes poopy, all right, then you can adjust to it. But if it was a poopy set to begin with, you're not going to get a kill regardless. So we want to, again, play for good, react to bad. So keep your space and then make sure you're patient. Don't try to time the set. Be walking on your right foot and patiently holding back as your setter's touching the ball. And that's the best advice that I can give for inconsistent setters. Make sure that you are creating space for your hitting shoulder. That's massively important. Make sure you're creating space for your hitting shoulder and you have good space. Hope that answers that for you, Eric. Best way to practice looking at defense as I jump. Tom, I'm going to answer that probably in a blog or during our next webinar. So make sure that you sign up for that. Just make sure that 1, 2, 3, 4, right, left, right, left. Get your eyes shooting forward on right, left, right, left, right? So right, left, look, left. So you want to look on your third step and then get your eyes on the ball. So make sure that you find the set, get your feet to where the set is, and as you plant for your jump, that's when your eyes come forward. Take a look at these videos on YouTube, and I want you to pause during each step of the approach and take a look at the head, because you'll see their head either dip forward or dip down for vision. And really pay attention to that. Pause during each step of the set on YouTube. It's so easy. And then you'll see where the best players in the world, when and where they're looking, what step they're on, and what distancing. Okay. When and where is our next destination camp? Lucas, We're considering Spain joining up and partnering with Sensation Beach again, who have been running camps. Oh man, I've been running great camps for years. I really want to go away, but at the same time, all of our coaches are current professional players, and I have to schedule it so that we have the best coaches available for you guys, and it doesn't interrupt their training. So we will run some volleyball vacations, and we will have good destinations, but they're coming up. As a 2-person company, me and Allison have been, trust me, working our tails off. So I hope that's a good enough answer for you. As a lefty hitting on the right side, in your mind, what's the best approach when the set is thrown so far outside that you can't get your feet around? Better to use the left and fade away, or go up with the offhand? That's an interesting question. Bad set, do I just use my right, or do I try to control with my left? I mean, that's a really good question. If it's really a bad set, you just gotta get whatever hand you can on it, and hopefully your mind can make the best decision in that case. A lot of ambidextrous players can throw blockers and defenses off. I know Madison McKibben, I know Sean Rosenthal and Hudson Bates. They've all been, and Sean Scott, have been really successful being able to use both hands because the blocker can't line that up. But if you have a really bad set, I would say get a better setter. Ooh, this is good. Andrew Verhulst. Any tips on slowing down the first step of the approach, aka not getting happy feet? I I kind of make fun of / admire Casey Patterson, and if you guys are still around, how many people do we still have here? Oh man, we still got 28 people watching. All right, I'll hang out, guys. So we still have Casey Patterson and Jake Gibb. I kind of make fun of Casey Patterson for doing this, but again, at the same time, I admire. There he is. When Casey gets served, he does this little stand up straight type thing. All right, he's not served there. I'm going to keep fast forwarding. I hope. Can you guys see the screen? Say yes if you can see the screen. Yes. Chris H. 12 new messages, 13 new messages. Can't believe you guys have stuck around this long, but thank you for doing so. All right. Everybody's serving Jake, which is unfortunate right now. Okay. One time. So Casey does this thing where on the set, he sort of stands up really, really tall. And that helps him break himself. And the key that I give to my players when you guys come to a camp is walk on the set. So I want you to stand up and just put your right foot out forward instead of trying to accelerate, because too many people try to accelerate too fast. And if you watch some more videos of Casey Patterson, you'll see him after the pass stand up super straight, almost like peacocking, and and that allows him to break himself. I don't know if he started that intentionally or he just has excellent posture, but that would be my advice: is remind yourself, walk on the step, on the right step, on the set. So I hope that answered it. And again, I'll create some blogs out of that and see where we're going. One more question. As you mentioned, spacing on the approach is critical. Can you talk about speed of approach? One thing I've been struggling with is starting slow and exploding fast. The key is slow to fast. I encourage you guys. Okay, so the question is, spacing on the approach and point of hesitation is critical. Can you talk about speed of approach? One thing I have been struggling with is starting slow and exploding fast. Slow to fast is a key that USA Volleyball, indoor and beach, have been using consistently for years. And we've got a bunch of gold medals to prove that it's pretty effective. So make sure that you have spacing and starting slow and exploding fast. I encourage you guys to see the actual set and then go. A lot of people really try to time the set And the first step of your 4 is really just, you ever get into first gear in your car? And that's, you're just rolling, but you're not actually going anywhere. That's what your first step is. You're just rolling forward and you're not accelerating yet. You're just seeing what's going on. And that's what you want to do on your first step when you see that set. You're just rolling over that right foot and then seeing where you need to get your foot, where you need to get your next step. So stop trying to time the ball. Start trying to see sets and then accelerate to them. Hope that helps. Any tips on slowing down the first step of the approach? Yeah. Last one, how do you adjust your point of hesitation and approach when you make a bad pass, one that doesn't go forward? Shannon, this is a really excellent question. How do you adjust your point of hesitation and approach when you make a bad pass or one that doesn't go forward, like a pass to the back half of the court? For me and for a lot of players, as soon as you pass, you know where that pass is going to end up, right? So then you have to pick where you want to end up attacking the ball. We want to attack every ball about 3 to 4 feet from the net, right? But you have to decide where you want to end up attacking that ball. Then you need to keep the space from the net. Make sure, again, you're at half court or behind. And you have to have created space for your hitting arm. You need to create space for your hitting arm in order to do that. So if you pass to the back half of the court, I'm going to pick a spot on the net where I want. I'm going to tell my setter middle or outside, which means maybe 3 feet from there. I'm going to say middle or outside. And that is where my setter is going to aim. And that's where I've created space for them. So I hope that makes sense, Shannon. Thanks for that question. Really good question. If you get a bad pass, then you need to pick a spot. You need to tell your setter where to set you and then create space from that so that you can accelerate your hitting shoulder into that area. Yeah. Okay. That is the end of those questions. If you guys have stuck through it to the end, thanks for your Friday evening. Have a really good time. I just gave the Hawaiian shakas, even though I'm from New York. That's weird. Been in California too long. Guys, I love you. Thanks for letting me do this. Thanks for sticking around. Again, make sure you guys are jumping on these deals and make sure that you keep learning and progressing volleyball because you're a part of the evolution of the sport. So thanks for sticking around. Thanks for everything. Paul, awesome. Michael, thank you. Adina, thanks for sticking around. And give me a call if you guys have my number. Send me an email if you guys have more questions. We're going to be running another one of these at some point if you guys enjoyed it. Have a good Friday. Love everybody. Bye. Shakas again? No. Peace. All right.